So today I want us to look at this topic on why men cheat on their wives. And I know some people are going to jump out now to attack me that yes, women cheat, women cheat. Yeah, I know women also cheat on their partners, okay? But why I decide to talk about men's issues is because the percentage of these things is higher on the side of men. And not just that it's higher on the side of men, society has a way of backing up our men even when these things happen. The society tells that men tells that women to understand that men are naturally polygamous. I remember in school, in the fellowship, one of those relationship seminars, we were taught that men are naturally polygamous, and it's okay for them to cheat as it's normal. Women are expected to relate with a man with the understanding that it's normal for him to do some of these things that when a woman does them, it's frowned upon. But I'm not even here to discuss who's cheating or who's not cheating. I want us to understand today from a man why men cheat. So by the time we're done with this video today, I'm sure that a lot of women would have some understanding about their men, some things that men don't tell you. And that's why I brought a man today to share with us why men cheat. So, Mr. Wigwe, the floor is all yours. So tell us these things that men don't tell women. Why do they cheat? Okay, why do because sometimes when men discuss these things, they would say things like their women are not treated. The women push them out. Is the attitude of the woman that push them out to the streets to start looking at other people. So please tell me, is it the woman, is it the attitude of the woman that pushes a man to go out there, or what happens to men? Why do men cheat on their partners?
Okay, thank you everyone. First of all, I want to establish something. You talked about monogamy and polygamy, and saying that some
they
people
said
say
that men naturally polygamous. Yes.
I beg to differ because the concept of monogamy and polygamy are social construct. There are societies where they are likely polygamous, and there are societies where it's monogamous. So it's not like a natural thing; it's a learned thing.
Okay.
That's one. Then also, polygamy is not a cure for infidelity. There are men who are married to multiple wives, even four wives.
Okay.
Who are still cheating, being, cheating on
their partners,
to their numerous partners. So it's not because of whether it's one wife or not. Now going to the question directly, why do men cheat? Let me start with this. I like tackling questions from the root cause, the first principle, and this is one of the problems that where most of the issues between men and women stem from. That men don't understand women, and most women don't understand men.
Okay.
It's the root cause of the problem. A lot of men, when they look at women, they look at them as my fellow men. And the same thing when women look at men, they look at them as my fellow woman. And so when I am complaining that a woman is not behaving well, I'm saying this my fellow man is not behaving like a man.
Okay.
And when a woman is some women complain about their men, they're saying this my fellow woman is not behaving like a woman. And this stems from the way our brains are wired. Our brains are wired differently. When you look at an object, same object, a man looks at it, a woman looks at it. The way the world is perceived, they are different, and this is likely because of the way our brains are wired. And if we get to understand this core root cause, that a woman sees things differently from the way you do, you start learning how women see things, and then you start making adjustments. And then when we start making these adjustments, a lot of the problems we have in relationships, in marriages would, be greatly reduced. I don't want to get into in depth in the fact that, when you say, for example, let's go out for dinner, the whole construct that goes in, as in when you tell your wife, let's go out for dinner, maybe out, let's go eat out, what goes on through your mind with regards to let's go out is pretty much straightforward for a man, but for the woman it's not. Where her mind goes to is far way more nuanced, far way, she thinks about the kids, what would they eat, are they following us, and all that, her dressing, how she may perceive, a lot of things that goes on in her mind is a lot more complex than what the man sees. So that perception of life that is inherently different is the root cause of many relationship problems. And having said that, I'll leave it there, then I'll get into the root cause of cheating.
So what you're saying is that partners need to constantly engage to be clear and to understand that they're even on the same page, because from what you're saying, even when we communicate, basic communication, a woman understands differently from a man.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, and that's why communication is the most important thing in any relationship.
Yeah.
Communication is the most important thing in any relationship. When you have issues
in
you
a
sit
marriage,
down,
in
any relationship, in a marriage, in this context.
Yeah, but I noticed that a lot of I this what you're saying is really deep. Okay, because I can see that this is really the root cause of a lot of problems that couples have. Because a lot of times I hear some women say that they're not able to engage their husbands in a conversation. When they want to start discussing, the men just get defensive and they walk out. So there's just a whole lot. So if I get what you're saying, if men can begin to engage more with their partners, I think there will be, better understanding between the two people. Of course, this understanding is not going to happen instantaneously.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So I made a post recently on, men not hitting their women or, not being violent on their partner, particularly speaking to men with regards to violence, domestic violence against women. And I said something that in the heat of the moment, the women, you'd annoy them and they will talk. At that time, the best thing, if you think that you are being aggravated or whatever, just walk out of the environment for that time, but come back and have that discussion. That discussion is very important. In virtually from all therapists, psychologists with regards to marriage, they all talk about this communication thing. You guys should constantly come together to talk, come together to share how you feel, how you perceive things, how you perceive what the other person said, and through that communication you start, because when I say men are different and women are different, also your wife is different, so you need to also understand your own wife, because you can't use the template of generalize the template.
So
for your
basically human beings are complex people, and they are different. So if we're really going to get this marriage thing work, we need to understand communication and how each party understands what we're saying.
So
So going even further from there, it means that we can't be discussing, marriage without people reading and educating themselves, even beyond communication. There is need for us to constantly educate our minds.
When we hear some of these posts of some ladies complaining, I got in, and the question is that, didn't you sit down to talk about these things when you were getting married? And it appears that people just get in and ride with the flow, and they are blinded by infatuation or what you call love, and they get into very important relationship like marriage, a project like marriage, and they don't sit down to talk.
I think that the problem is there are just so many issues, poor education, religion, society, parents, pressures, peer pressure. There's just a whole lot of issues on this marriage thing, but that's not outside the scope of what we're discussing. Today we want to focus on why men cheat. So Tell me,
So
tell me, tell me.
I'll go down now to why do men cheat.
Yeah.
From a man perspective, the major issue how men start cheating stems from peer pressure.
Okay.
I've been in an environment where I see guys, adults, and you think that these guys should not be prone to being influenced by peer pressure, but they come into an environment, and the next thing, that environment is an environment where the people are a bit loose and all that. There are ladies around, and once their friends start, engaging in that, they just join. And for men particularly, there is just this need for social acceptance,
Okay.
to feel among, there's just this need, to feel important. And because of that, a man who hangs around friends who cheat would naturally cheat, right?
Okay.
When guys hang out, this is from a very young age, when they're youths, youngsters, a lot of the conversation that happens around adolescents, males, they talk about females, talk about their girlfriends, and you see them brag about how many people they slept, they do body counts, how many people have slept with, and all that. And
Okay, sorry, if I'm going to even distract you a bit. So it means that when a man is sleeping with a woman, it's not because he really loves her. So it's counts. Yeah, because these are the things that I read from ladies, and they are attached to the man because they believe that the man has been involved sexually with them, and that's like he's loving them.
For the men, sexual urge is a lot detached from their emotions.
Okay.
Sexual urge is actually a lot detached. Unlike some women, it's a lot detached from their emotions. So when it comes to cheating or infidelity, it could actually stem from a spur of the moment, and they were not guarded. By guarded, they didn't attach much to the commitment of to their spouse,
Okay.
and they eventually, I would say, fall or get into those things. So, and such environments are environments where you have people who do such when you go for clubs and all that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I talked about the environment that you find yourself in. So people who go to clubs and such late meetings where you have loose
Can I
women.
get in your vlog?
Yeah.
Can I get in your vlog?
Yeah, so if they are in such environment where they, meet lots of young ladies and all that, loose women, they can easily get influenced. So I'm trying to establish that peer pressure is a big factor with regards to infidelity. So if you see a man who keeps friends, a company with men who are typically unfaithful to their spouses, sooner or later they'll
be
get
like
involved.
that. Okay.
So that's one thing, and this also happens when the men get into some circles of power, like in politics,
Okay.
where you go for those late night meetings and all that, and you just meet people in some of those meetings.
So this is really about discipline,
Yeah.
if I can understand what you're trying to say. It's about self-discipline.
Yeah.
It's not like, this is how you were created,
Definitely.
or this is how you're made, or this is what to expect of you. It's all about developing the discipline,
Yeah.
to self-restraint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for you to be in those environments and still remain faithful to your partner, it will take a whole lot of self-discipline and commitment to your marriage or union.
I'm also aware that men, their fellow men, who are not doing these things like, you're not, you're a Jew guy, you're not a
That's
big
where
guy.
that's where peer pressure comes in.
So
yeah.
these are
There's
some
a
of the
lot
reasons, so men want to show,
Yeah.
oh, no, I follow, I belong.
It's so bad that men lie.
God.
Men lie that
Okay.
they've slept with people that they did not sleep with, just to like feel among. That need to belong, to feel macho. Say I've done this, I've conquered these people. They see, that's how they see this thing. And men are a lot intentional with regards to infidelity and all that. Men are a lot more intentional than
Yes, I
ladies.
just wish our women
Yeah.
can really understand the mindset of men. You know, that men are intentional. There is nothing, men are very intentional people, you know, a lot more than our women that are very emotional. Yeah.
Okay, so the second thing is I would call it being indisciplined. How do I mean? So there are environments and circumstances that can actually make you vulnerable to compromising, you know, regards to infidelity. And this is for a man who didn't set out to cheat on the partner, right? But you know, you can find yourself in an environment, and if you are not committed and if you are not disciplined, you know, you could find yourself involving in such acts. And this is largely because, you know, this part, men naturally are very visceral, right? And our mammalian brain is still functioning. And when you see, you know, a beautiful woman and all that you're attracted to, you know, your brain kicks in. So, but it now takes you to, like, you know, call yourself to
Yeah,
order.
but when you have a good relationship with your spouse and you genuinely interested in committing yourself to that relationship, I think that when you think that something is going wrong with you and your emotions and your hormones, you should be able to have
Yes.
engage with your spouse.
Yes, that's
because she
where
can
the
actually
commitment
help you.
And that's where the commitment is. And it's a lot easier when you, one, are committed to your relationship. Two, you have an open communication, open
Yeah.
channel of communication with your spouse. Some men are so open that they will call their wife saying, "You get this babe, why I see here," and all that. The wife will have say, "See you." They always see fine ways, and they talk, and then, you know, it's, you know. But when there is no communication, you know, it could, you know, easily, you know, move down to such a thing. And there are aspects of unmet sexual needs in marriage, and this is really important.
Okay.
And this comes to the fact where a lot of young men are exposed to, a lot of people are exposed to pornography
Okay.
at a very tender age. You underestimate how prevalent this is. A lot of people, the stats show that a lot of women have been exposed to pornography, but generally men are more exposed to pornography. And so when they watch some of those things, they have those fantasies and they expect their wives to meet them. And some of those fantasies are not real practical things. A lot of them are things that actors do, people, professional actors do, and they do it once. But you know, because you watch those things, you expect
think that.
a partner who goes to work, comes back, takes care of the kid to come and do those things. You know, when they have those fantasies, they will, you know, have a secret desire to fulfill those things. And it's the war between side chicks and the wives. Side chicks are not wives. They don't sleep with you regularly. They are not there regularly. So if it's a one-off thing,
Yeah.
or once in a while thing, they can actually do those favors for those men. And you know,
Of course, there's money to
easily-
the end. Huh?
Easily,
Is it free?
Yeah.
The side chicks are getting
Yeah.
paid, so
No.
they have to prepare for their money.
Yeah, so for such men who have such unmet, sometimes unreasonable, you know, depending on them, the couple, you know, they would be looking for an opportunity to meet those needs.
Yeah, so but I
Yeah.
want to even bring a point in here. So, you know, because a lot of men keep saying that the woman pushed them out, is the attitude of their wives, you know, that pushed them to the streets. What I want to say is, see, marriage already is a big deal. You know, there are issues, even in seemingly perfect homes. Okay, so if you're looking for that excuse, you will always find it. You know, you will always find it, because as long as two people are living in the home, there's going to be disagreements. Okay, you're not always going to agree on things. So if you're looking for a reason, I'm telling you, in marriage, plenty day. If it's not on children, there are just too
Yeah.
many things. You know,
Yeah.
there are bad days. People wake up on bad, you know, on the wrong side. you know. So if those are reasons you're looking for, then it's even better you remain single and keep on doing your thing. Because once you're going to live with somebody in the same house, trust me, you guys are going to have days you fall out. So those reasons abound. Yeah, so let's not, what I'm trying to say is that let's not keep looking for those reasons, because those reasons will always be there.
True. And
Yeah.
with regards to men who complain that their wives are pushing them out, it also comes back to understanding women. A lot women are their emotions, you know, they need their emotions, you know, and their what's the word now? Unlike men who are, you know, unattached, they're when it comes to sexual pleasure and all those things, they are not attached. Their emotions are less attached to it. So women, when they are not happy, they can't effectively engage in you know, sexual relationship with their partners. You know, most of the time.
And men don't know, a lot of men don't know when their wives are not happy.
So
They've not studied their partners to see these things.
For the man, a man can be angry and still, you know, have sex with someone. You know, they're just detached. You know, sometimes sex is just like you're pressed, you want to pee and all that. So it's a lot that way for men. While it's not for women, you know, they are a lot involved when it comes to sexual relationship. Their emotions, their person, their being is a lot more involved. So when you are annoying or you are offended for some reason, some things you did in the past,
and there is no communication,
and there is no communication to iron things out, they can actually build up and affect your the sexual response of your spouse. And
then
so
the man now finds
will be
reason.
complaining, but you don't know that you actually the cause of this. You know, you caused this and you're getting this response as a result of your actions. And then if you guys don't sit down to iron this out, while she's angry that you did some things that haven't been resolved, you're angry that she's not responding to you, your sexual passes and all that. And then at some point you just say, okay, let me just go outside because I'm not getting it from inside. So these are some of the problems, but the bottom line is actually communication. When there's communication, a lot of the issues, you know, will be resolved. You know, a lot of the problems can, you know, be resolved by simply sitting down to say, this is this, this is that. There are some people who said they are, you know, because of their past premarital experiences, sexual experiences, they marry spouses who are inexperienced.
Yeah.
You know, that also can be handled by communication.
Yeah, and
Communication
education
and
too.
education. So
And there's something I also noticed in the marriages. You know, I think people should stop consulting pastors for marital issues, because I think that church, you know, is part of the problem we're having. You go to consult a pastor who is totally untrained,
who is inexperienced and
who is
untrained.
totally untrained on issues of counseling.
Yeah.
You know, he's just reading Bible. You know, I mean, see, let's not even mix things up.
And their default is that the woman is wrong.
Yeah,
The man is right.
let's not mix things up. You know, Bible has its place, okay? But Bible is not designed to resolve marital issues. It's not designed to resolve marital issues. If you have real issues, okay, because the Bible is not coming to teach you about sex.
Yeah,
For
that's what
instance,
it teach you about
yeah.
communication with your partner.
It's not teaching you
There's actually a
about
lot of things,
communication.
you know,
So you need to consult real
Professionals,
professional psychologists. Let's stop taking our marital problems to pastors. You know, I just needed to bring this in because a lot of marriages that could have been saved today were further
just messed up.
destroyed
Right.
in church. You
Yeah.
know, because the moment you take it to church, it's, of course, it's men now. Men
Yeah,
are the
you're
pastors.
going to men
They've
for
hijacked
your
the
solution.
pulpit. They say it's for them. Okay, so it's a man that is going to judge your case, and of course, he's going to judge it
From a man's perspective. Yeah, so-
you know. So I think we really need to look into some of these issues that we're having, and also see the part that religion has played in destroying marriages unknowingly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's
Recently, I saw a video clip on social media of a pastor talking to women that they need to be ready for their partners anytime and all that. I saw how insensitive he was, And the woman was asking, but asking some realistic questions. And I just felt that you actually sitting with a man and thinking that a man should give you solutions. He will only give you the men's perspective.
Yeah, from the men's perspective.
It appears that most of the men most men in our climb and culture are, I don't know if it's most men, but a lot of men on social media, when you see, they're not willing to engage. They're not willing to understand from the women's perspective.
Yeah.
And this is largely because our society has empowered men, and for a long time, so they think that things will continue this way. The sad thing is that education,
Things are changing.
enlightenment, has come. We are in an information age, so the world our parents lived in, our grandparents lived in, has changed. So if we insist that we continue to live in the same way our parents lived and all that, and that women should bear the brunt of making a relationship work, well, good luck to you. I'll just say good luck to you, because it's like a moving train. Change is like a moving train.
Yeah.
You either get out of the way and align, or you get knocked off. So that's what's happening to many relationships, as a result. Yeah, then I think the final thing I wanted to talk about is society, the role the society has played in. For a lot of men who cheat, there are little or no consequence, particularly in our climate.
Yeah.
In our African
If you
environment,
complain
there's
to your
no
mother,
consequence, yes.
they'll say even your father
Yes.
was like that. Every woman, that's how all men are. And these things have not helped our society.
Yeah.
Because right now we're having a totally new generation of women that are asking questions. And their questions are valid.
Yeah.
Recently I saw a post someone put up that a cheating man deserves a cheating wife.
Wife, yeah.
Me, I'm a realist too. I agree. In fact, I copied our post and I put it on my WhatsApp status. The one man immediately, in fact, it wasn't up to 2 minutes I put it on my status. One man came to chat me. Hey, really? I said yes. Now, if you're happy, to allow your wife to enjoy you cheating, you to be happy to have her to do the same to you. And you see that these things that men do to women, they can't even take it.
Definitely.
They can't even take it.
Definitely. I spoke to some young men who form one group. I don't know what they call themselves, and calling everybody who brings up the argument of treating women right, feminist and all that. And I asked them, sorry, do you think you'll take this behavior that you insist that women should take?
Yeah, from
And
her.
they told me point blank that no, that it is their right to cheat, and
Really?
women are not allowed to cheat. That's their culture.
Which
So,
culture?
And I'm like, good luck to you. Good luck to you.
Because women are about to change those things
Good luck
right
to
now,
you.
and it's not right.
The
you
effect.
know,
Okay.
I'm talking about the effect of these things on the future generation,
Yes,
our
sir.
children. Because women are asking questions, and I think that we need to begin to engage our men. To adjust. To go back and let's start adjusting some of these things, because kole work. These things are not going to kole work. I hope
Yes, yeah, you got it right.
kole
Yeah.
work.
Kole work.
This thing is not going to work. It's not working anymore. Yeah. So you were trying to round up on the point
Yeah,
of the society.
To wrap up, the
Yeah.
society has not had given much consequence for cheating men, particularly. Just like you explained. So, and if a man knows that if I cheat, I can get away with it, and there's nothing the woman can do, then why? That's one of the very big reasons why men cheat. In some Western society, where men, of course, in those places men do cheat as well, but a lot of the men would not cheat. Married men would not cheat because they know that there's a consequence. So
Yeah,
the
I wanna
woman,
say- I wanna
has
say-
is a lot empowered.
I want to say
and can decide to
something.
walk away, and it will
And
be
you pay a lot
costlier,
of
yeah.
money too.
So if you think
Ali
about
money.
that, you just hold yourself.
Yeah, and on a final note, I want to say this from a woman's perspective to cheating men, cheating husbands. See, when you do these things to your wife, okay, and you expect that she should take it because she's a woman, yeah, she will take it though. But with time, that relationship, the walls of that relationship is breaking down. Okay, and I've engaged with some men that keep saying things like, the women we don't forgive. Honestly, women don't really forgive. They may forgive, oh, tell you they've forgiven. You see this cheating thing, it gets to the soul of the woman. You see, because the woman begins to question herself that what is it that I don't have, that you're getting outside there, and the painful thing is that a lot of these women that these men do these things to, if you see these women, they are beautiful. If they bring themselves out, 10 men will come for them. So you'll be wondering, what exactly does this man want? She already has this Adani Ibani Derego in her house. What's he looking for outside? So you're already killing the relationship. You're damaging that relationship, and for as long as you've done that, it's going to take the woman longer time to trust you. She may live with you, she may not pack out, but things may never really become the same in that relationship. So that's what I want to leave with our men on a final note. So when you keep doing all these things, you say it's a man's world though, and all those things, time will come when the woman may do you back. And women, honestly, I don't know, there's a kind of mind that women have that men don't even know about. A woman might just be quiet, taking all those things. The day she will change, you won't believe that that's the same woman that has been keeping calm with you. So I'm going to end this video right now, hoping to read from you. I know that many men are going to jump on this comment section and bombard it with their reactions. So I'm waiting for all of you. Thank you for watching, and have a great evening. Bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah.